Scene 1.
The Genesis, or help God, we messed up already.
In the beginning, there was nothing but God, and so God spoke, and there was light. Over the course of 7 days, God created all things: the earth, animals, fish, the entire universe, and finally a man created to be like himself.
Not bad.
But God saw that man was lonely, and so he created a woman to be his companion.
Not bad.
Everything was perfect. God had provided the man and the woman everything they needed, and they were in a relationship with him just as he planned, until one day.
Hey, girlfriend!
Who, me?
Yeah, no, I'm talking to the other only woman on the planet. Yes, you!
What's up?
Say, I was wondering, you and that guy you hang out with, you seem pretty good around here, but you never seem to eat from this one tree. What's up with that?
God gave us just one rule. He said we couldn't eat from this one tree. He said if we did, we would die.
Oh, please! Die from eating a piece of fruit? You mean to tell me you've got to roam this entire planet and you're scared to eat from one little tree?
I ain't scared.
What?
I am not a chicken.
Prove it then!
Oh, snap.
Hey, what's going on? Oh, give me some of that. I'm starving. Oh, crap.
And they had broken the one rule that God had given, and as a result, messed up a perfect relationship with the perfect God. They were banished from the Garden of Eden and had to spend their days laboring for food that had once been provided for them. Time passed. Adam and Eve had 2 sons. Abel was a shepherd,
Howdy.
and Cain was a farmer.
Yeehaw.
You know, my herds have been real nice lately. Fat, healthy. I gotta thank God for that. I think I'll make an offer to my best sheep. He should be pleased with that.
Yeah. The crops have just been great. Please, I just love working in the hot sun all day. Thanks, God. I guess I'll give some of my crops as an offering too. What are you looking at? I'm definitely not giving my best stuff.
God was pleased with Abel's sincere offering of his best sheep, but Cain, well, not so much. What? God said to Cain, "Why are you so angry? You need to get control of that stuff before it gets control of you."
Yeah, I'll work on that. Go get that business. Hey, yeah, let me show you this one thing on the field.
Where?
It's just one thing. Right over here.
Oh, my speed!
And so Cain killed Abel, and the first murder had been committed. From then on, things didn't get much better. Man continued to get more and more evil and grow further and further apart from God. And that relationship God had once with his people, his very reason for creating them, was long gone. So God decided to start over. He brought a huge flood on the earth, destroying everyone in the world except one man's family, who he shut into a boat with 2 of every animal.
They was just wishing they were dead on account of the smell.
Noah's family was saved from the flood and got busy repopulating the earth. The promise. Time passed, and even though God had shown with the flood that he meant business, most people ignored him and continued in sin. But a few people really tried to follow. One such person was a man named...
Abraham,
Wait, who is that? What's going on?
it is me, God.
Wait, God is talking to me? What have I done that you don't favor upon me?
You have obeyed me, and so I make a promise to you. I will give you more descendants than the stars in the sky. I will make a nation of people out of you, and they will be my people.
Wow, God, that's wonderful, but where am I going to put all these people? I mean, I just have this one-bedroom apartment. And
I will give you a land of your own. I will show you a wonderful land that I will give to your descendants. You will defeat all those who live in this land if you trust and obey me. It will be a land flowing with milk and honey.
Wow.
Now go.
And so the promise was made. a promise that would show God's faithfulness time and again, even though it would be a while before it actually happened. Time passed, and Abram and Sarah gave birth to a son. God came to Abram and told him to sacrifice Isaac to him as a test. Abram was just about to go through with it when an angel stopped him.
Wait! You don't have to do this, Abraham. God was just testing obedience in him.
Does this mean I get my Xbox back?
I guess, son. More time passed. Isaac had kids of his own, 2 sons, Jacob and Esau. Jacob and Esau had an argument over a trick that Jacob played on Esau. Fearing for his life, Jacob ran away to a place called Haran. Jacob eventually had 12 sons of his own, one of whom was named Joseph. The story of Joseph and his brothers is so well known that we're going to kind of fast forward through some of this. Joseph loved Jacob the most and gave him a brightly colored coat. The brothers hated Joseph and sold him to slavery. Joseph worked for a guy named Potiphar, but got thrown into prison because Potiphar's wife hit him. Pharaoh was disturbed by some weird dreams and heard of a guy in prison who could interpret dreams. Joseph told Pharaoh that his dreams meant there was a famine coming throughout Egypt, and in 7 years there would be no food. Pharaoh put Joseph in charge of Egypt and Joseph stockpiled food for the time of famine, saving Egypt. Joseph's whole family joined Joseph in Egypt during the famine. Years passed. Joseph's family got larger and larger. This is where God's promise to Abraham began to come true. Remember, Abraham was Joseph's great-grandfather. Eventually, Joseph died. But his family kept getting larger and larger. Angel Pharaoh came into power, who didn't remember Joseph or like the fact that the Israelites were in Egypt. He enslaved them all, but they just kept multiplying until there were 2 million of them. Then, Pharaoh decided to put an end to them once and for all. He decreed that any Hebrew boys born during that time would be put to death. It was at this time that Moses was born. Scene 3, the Exodus, or enter Moses' Exodus. Get it? Exodus. Get it? Oh, no. Anyway. It was at this time that Moses was born. It was at this time that Moses was born. Remember, Pharaoh decreed to kill all baby boys, however, one survived and was found on River's Edge by Pharaoh's daughter.
I am Moses. Okay, here's the deal. Grew up as a prince, and I killed a man kind of accidentally, on purpose. Then out of fear, I fled to Midian.
Welcome to Midian, land of intrigue and adventure. Can I interest you in a plantation tour or embarking cruise?
No, thanks. So I'm in Midian. I get married. I become a shepherd. Then God speaks to me from a burning bush. Tells me to go back to Egypt and tell the Pharaoh to release the Israelites from slavery.
Moses, you've got to be joking.
Here I am.
I would never release your people.
So what, Pharaoh? I'll bring power on you.
And to make a long story short,
Too late.
he did.
Let the plagues begin. Blood of the Nile.
Frogs!
Oh, flies!
Ants!
Dead livestock.
Oil!
Hail!
And finally, the death of every firstborn son in Egypt.
Israelites, if we put the blood of a perfect lamb on our doorpost, then God will pass over our house with a plague of death, kills all the firstborn sons.
And God did.
Moses, Moses dead. Go, just take the people and go.
430 years of slavery? Over! Let's get out of Egypt before Pharaoh changes his mind. Follow me!
And everything was going great for about the first 5 minutes.
Moses, why did you take us this way? The Red Sea is blocking our exit. Pharaoh
God gave them the 10 Commandments to obey.
Here they are.
Which they immediately began disobeying.
Boy,
They complained they were hungry.
We're hungry.
So God gave them manna which fell from the sky. They complained they were thirsty.
We're thirsty.
So God gave them water from a rock. They got sick of manna.
We don't like manna.
So God provided them quail to eat.
Tastes like chicken.
For the years that it took to get to the promised land, the Israelites were disobedient and whining, and God continued to forgive and provide until at last they arrived at the promised land.
welcome to the promised land. Land flowing with milk and honey.
That sounds great and everything, but does it have to be a little lactose intolerant?
Quiet! Now I've sent spies into the promised land to tell us about what we're going to find there.
I'm back.
What did you find?
Big people.
What?
Really big people.
What?
And I don't think they'll make very good neighbors either.
That's great. That's just great.
It never took a break.
I wish I was back in Egypt.
I wish I never followed
I wish I was dead.
Enough! Now God said He would give us this land, and He would defeat our enemies for us. Yet you still complain and refuse to believe in Him?
And so, God, who had led the Israelites to the promised land, punished them. They were forced to wander in the desert for the next 40 years, not